Good evening, everyone. Welcome to part two of our show. I am David Sponheim, and this is Wasteful Wednesday. We are cutting our show short in some areas because of recent YouTube censoring that's been going on. We're having to break up our shows into smaller segments to minimize the amount of attacks we've had from YouTube. I just put in a request to overturn. I disputed an effort by YouTube to shut down our show, at least to stop people from getting in without a disclaimer saying this is, I guess it's sensitive subjects will be talked about, whatever they're saying. So they're now putting a new layer of censorship on some of our videos. So in lieu of that, we have to bring you smaller chunks of videos and more of them. So we'll be giving you a couple shows a night in the future from now on. In the future, we're dealing with a gang stalking thing that YouTube refuses to acknowledge is happening. And in the process, they're claiming that my discussions here is somehow violating laws of hate speech. And I've never hated anybody. I've never presented any hate in our show. And I've never ever tried to violate any censorable words, like the F word. I've never used the F word ever. So you got to understand, YouTube is going to be clamping down on us as we move toward the 2020 election. We're already seeing Vaughn clamp down on us pretty hard, limiting people to get in here. Numerous people have to refresh for 45 minutes just to get into the chat room. And now we're seeing iVlog has knocked out our operators, as well as many of our chatters can't get into iVlog either. And the guest chatters are now having to sign up to an account just to be a guest chatter. So the numbers of people arriving at these two shows are innumerable. I can't even give you the number because apparently they're being slammed. They call it a troll prevention move by their part. They tweeted about it or Facebooked about it, according to one person. I never heard about it. They never told me iVlog was going to do that. But in any event, they're claiming they're minimizing troll activities. What they're doing is limiting lots and lots of people from getting into our chat rooms. And they're closing down on us. So I'm looking at other chat alternatives right now that we can move to, new venues. And tomorrow we're going to be opening up our Blog Talk radio show, or I'll try to, but at the very least we'll open up our Skype show tomorrow. So we will be opening up a new chat room though. Blog Talk Radio has a chat room capability, and we'll probably use that venue to reach you. But it won't be free. We're going to have to pay for that. So we're going to try to give everybody as many chat opportunities as they can for our show, and recording podcast abilities and review of all the ideas that we talk about in our show. But the problem is chatters are just not able to get in. And I recognize that, and we're working our best to try to minimize that problem, but it's getting worse. Now, as you know, I was just discussing some pretty important things about, there was a major story that we talked about just a few minutes ago. Yeah. Trying to pull it up. There it is. Let me show it to you. Michael Cohen has been holding back, if you will. Believe it or not, all those negative things he said about Trump were true. He's also holding back on evidence that he said at one point he would reveal, and he didn't, in order to prevent the 3-year prison sentence he's facing right now. But now we're finding out that he met this guy many, many times. Michael Cohen exchanged hundreds of phone calls with an executive tied to a sanctioned Russian oligarch, according to newly unsealed federal search warrants that show the two sides were closer than either previously admitted. This is a very interesting point at which we have to ask ourselves, well, if Cohen was holding back, how deep into this is Donald Trump? Because Cohen was his right-hand man. He swore by Michael Cohen for the longest time, and he even offered Michael Cohen a plea agreement, if you recall, saying, I'll pardon you, I'll pardon you. He made that offer, which is an attempt to obstruct, by the way. It's called witness tampering. Trump made that offer to him. So you've got to wonder if this isn't just more and more of the deep, dark secrets that are being revealed as we look a little deeper into the darkness of the still waters of corruption of Donald Trump. Okay, good. Okay, you were IP banned from iVlog after watching your show? I would not doubt that, Xenu. iVlog has been doing a lot of things to knock people down. We noticed our chatter numbers went from 38 about 2 weeks ago down to 9. And it happened instantly. I talked about that in the previous show about how we got a letter from some poor persons trying to escape Thailand. And immediately the show was shut down. At that time, guests could get in without having to sign on to into an email account. Then all of a sudden it changed a few days later, and then all of a sudden any guest that wants to chat at iVlog has to register. It's no longer open. So open chat rooms are disappearing across the internet. That's another example of how the censorship is kicking in. I know. Well, the fact is, we've been watched by Trump many, many times, and he knows that we're onto him. I've been knocked off? Really? Am I on or yeah. Let's get a verification, because for BitToro, I'm offline right now. I'm being blocked in certain countries. Wow. Okay. I'm not doing anything to my signal, folks. It's the same as it ever was. I'm here. I'm going to go ahead and drop off Vaughn and come back on. That sometimes switches their ingest servers. Okay, refresh now. Okay. Yeah. Hello. So even this is being censored as we do the show. Vaughn is putting the screws down on our show as we're doing it. So you're seeing the arm of the censorship happening right during our show. It's amazing. I'm on screen. Yeah. And I'm showing no drop frames. I am showing drop frames. Okay. I'm going to go to another ingest server. Yeah, sometimes I have to adjust during the show to accommodate what's happening, and the ingest servers that they offer at this one network that we use oftentimes give us a different approach. I'm being knocked off of the internet over there completely. Interesting. So you're seeing complete DDoS attacks on some sort of a trunk server in between us and you. Okay, let me see if I can get back on the show. Okay. I'll try this one. Okay, are we still up or not? Any video coming in? Frozen? No video? Huh. See, as I talk about the censorship, they are censoring me as I'm doing it. Okay, I'm checking various... Okay, Vaughn has been shut down. Vaughn was shut down. Can you access other rooms? Yeah, I'll find out here if they can. Yeah, they're onto the fact that we are growing rapidly, and they're trying to shut down all access points to our show. All right. Don't leave this chat. Okay, the judge has declined to block subpoenas seeking financial information about the Trump family, so no matter what Trump does, he can't hide from the truth. The slow, methodical wheels of justice are slowly working him down. Okay, it's on now? Okay. Somebody's doing something in the background over at Vaughn, knocking our show down, but it's still freezing. Yeah. Trump, angered by phony inquiries, blows up meeting with at the meeting with Pelosi and Schumer. Phony inquiries. These are real serious inquiries to find out his financial data. He's hiding from everybody. In fact, Mueller pulled Paul Manafort's second trial, if you recall, didn't go through with it. which would have revealed the money laundering connections to Donald Trump from the Russian oligarchs. So Coolrock is working over at iBlog. Yeah, go to Coolrock, guys. Yeah, and keep this chat open as pop-out chat. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Yeah, that's why I created Coolrock. Thank you. Okay, so we are getting people to at least listen to that. Trump's House investigations tantrum proves Pelosi and Democrats are gaining momentum. So we're riling his cage. He's been hiding under the lie that there was no collusion, it's all a Russian hoax. A charge of a cover-up by Nancy Pelosi, a Trump tantrum, and the gears grind to a halt. 5 hours, that was New York Times. Okay, guys, so if you're still in our show, you can watch us at iVlog. You may not be able to get in as guest chat, but you can at least watch our show. A president stormed out of a meeting with congressional Democrats saying he won't negotiate while they investigate. What now? So he won't talk about any balanced budgets. He won't talk about infrastructure plan, nothing, until they stop asking him questions. So he's holding our country hostage. He is holding our country's progress hostage over his inquiry into his Russian connections. Still. Unbelievable. Okay, I'm going to do a little troubleshooting over at my Vaughn connection. Let me see if I can get there. If Vaughn is down for me. Yeah, Vaughn is down for me. I can't get in. They are being censored. So the more we talk about the censored, Mark is being paid. It's really a serious situation, and Mark, I believe, is the kingpin in this whole thing with iVlog as well. Our numbers dropped significantly in iVlog last couple weeks ago, and as you can see, we don't have any operators left. They were all removed from the show. They've been IP banned, our operators. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. It's not off air on my end. My end looks like it's perfectly delivering a signal. It's shut down at the Vaughn servers. They are shut down at the Vaughn servers. They're using the Vaughn servers to shut it down. We have a gateway timeout in search of the site vaughnlive.tv/third party. So they've effectively shut us down at Vaughn Live, and we're not getting through. Not indigestion, ingest servers. Yeah. So there are options for you guys. If you don't mind, I would like you to go to Periscope and just say, sayonara to Vaughn right now and just get into my Periscope show and start chatting. I'd be much happier there. Keep pop-out chat open. And go there for the signal. Yeah, so you're watching the censorship of a third party growing at a rapid rate in America, and the clamps of censorship no different than North Korea going down on us using the means of technological, enhancements that have been made. There are ways in which they can shut shows down, and they can direct certain DDoS attacks at ingest servers and ostensibly shut shows down. This has been done many times before. Okay, so for some reason you're not able to see us. Is there any video? Yeah, let's try that. I'm broadcasting. You got, oh, definitely iVlog has video. Yeah, we've got viewers at iVlog, and we got people pouring into iVlog from Vaughn. Thank you guys for coming in. The Penguin is here. Ivan the Terrible, CBD Man, Bass, Setter Beard. Okay, let me open up ProCams. I've had it out because I just was so overwhelmed with the attacks in our show tonight. All right. So we are pretty much shut down in terms of getting our Vaughn Show back up again. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up from my blog notes a new ingest server. I might have one in my notes. Yep. Yeah, I have other ways of getting in here. Let's do this. I'm still looking for my ingest servers. I have a lot of things related to Vaughn, that's for sure. It's not popping up. Yeah, I'm going through my evidence right now. Drop frames. Yep, we've got a lot of things happening. No, not true. We don't know what happened to Ghost, actually. We're not sure what happened to him. He disappeared. Yeah, and like a ghost, you see them and then you don't. So I guess it's an apt name for a ghost, right? Yeah, I don't have the ingest servers on my backup file, so I can't really get in there. And as long as the site's been shut down completely, there it is, it's coming back up. Okay. I've got a possibility of doing something here. You notice the guest count, it says third party is off air. Let's see if I can get my different ingest server might help. I know. We're being hard targeted. This is how YouTube works too. They started censoring me recently, and they knocked a couple of videos down, and last night they put a veil over one of my videos. You have to click a button to get through, claiming you're over 18. And it's been a nonstop thing regarding, yeah, even his settings buttons don't work. So, yeah, it's completely shut down. Mark has something out there, but whatever it is, it's not working. I know. Hey, everybody over at iVlog, thanks for coming in. As you know, we're being censored hard both at iVlog and at Vaughn, and now Vaughn has decided to shut our servers down. So we're now dealing with the iVlog crowd. Not sure what's happening really, other than they're getting a little worried that this party is looking good. Part of the problem is they've got these idiots that look like a bunch of stool pigeons. Hey, 5 people over there at Periscope. Thank you. You know, Beto O'Rourke is pretty much following what I'm doing right now and tracking what even he came out with a cooking show. They're all trying to copy me. Thank you. Yes. Vaughn is shut down. We're moving over to iVlog. Thanks for coming in, guys. But Beto is out there stumping for impeachment for Donald Trump, which I've been doing for, a long, long time. And he's starting to sound more and more with my sound bites that I use. And what people don't realize in the Democratic Party is that a lot of people were made aware of Beto's letter or his story that he wrote about wanting to kill children. And no matter what this guy talks about, that's going to dog him through the next few months as we approach the 2020 election. People are finding out the truth about this guy. He actually was a hacker in one of the key hacker groups in America. And he wrote a story about wanting to fantasize about wanting to kill children. And then he was in a hit and run accident. And he was on multiple witnesses said that he hit a truck, swerved into oncoming traffic, nearly killing people, crashed the car, and then tried to drive away from the scene of the crime. Hit and run. And he had a .134 alcohol level. So this guy has got no moral structure whatsoever. He'll do anything and he'll say anything. He even married money. The woman he married, her father has $12 billion. So let's not kid ourselves. We've had the liars like Obama. We've had the people that are out for the money, like all the Democrats. We're tired of those people running for office. And of course, we've got Trump, the poster child of greed that the Republicans seem to love for some reason. Yeah, Vaughn is being knocked down. Errors occurring left and right. I think they're pulling the plug on Vaughn. Yeah, it does look like they're pulling the plug on Vaughn. They did it so much for so long that they had to. We're opening up VaughnLive.tv right now and seeing what that comes up with. The whole site's shut down. Yep. Hey, welcome everybody to the show. Vaughn Live, it seems, has been shut down. We knew this would happen. Mark has not been seen in quite a few weeks. Nobody's seen him on screen at all. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, so Vaughn Live is completely down, everyone. So thanks for coming into iVlog. I did some changes on the main screen of Cool Rock, so you can usually access us there. CoolRock.com is a really good spot to check out if you haven't already.
In a world where bass rules the planet and its inhabitants worship sound, two superpowers collide. We bring you a nightly soundscape of incredible music. Join us at CoolRock.com and watch virtual chat, great music, and interactive news mix.
All right, thanks for listening to my promo for Cool Rock. We have the Cool Rock online community, fun and free. Welcome, everybody. Chat will not be loading over here, so you can pretty much X out of the Vaughn screen. Instead of taking up your server, just hit the X button on your screen. Now, you got to move that first. That's the secret. Yeah, you got to move the sign first. So it's very interactive physically, hands-on. You can move the other screen over here. It's a little too big, isn't it? Yeah, I think maybe my height is too much. Maybe I should go to 60. Yeah, that's better. You can move that right over there and click to enter the chat. I'm now disabled at one place and I'm open over here. Hi, guys. I'm on the screen right now chatting at Cool Rock with my chatters and viewers. If you want to ditch this thing, this is just Floater. The owner of the Scraplet site puts that out there, but he doesn't have any ads in there. I should probably give him an ad. I should contact him and say, hey man, I want to advertise on your site because I'm the only guy who has ads. I'm giving you all these options to work with during the show. You can play music, you can do anything you want. You can play interactive with a computer system. Yep. You can also do another piano over here or play the harp. And I've opened up some really cool tools to look at Cool Rock. Yeah, you might really enjoy this. Mr. Doob has the best VR system out there. This guy, I tried to locate him, I can't find him, but he put out this site that's so amazing that it offers such an amazing array of things that you could play with. Every one of these croutons gives you three-dimensional capability on your screen. But the real keys, are, here's a sketch pad you can sketch things with. You can pick one of these particular types of things and just draw anything you want. Clear. Okay, if you want to also click on one of the croutons here in the middle, that right next to the word type, go. Right next to the word type, there's a button right here that opens up a gateway, right here. And it takes you to amazing stuff. Digital sequencing, three-dimensional stuff. Look at track. This is amazing stuff. I'll turn the volume down for you.
Welcome to Inside Music, presented by Song Exploder. I'm your host, Rishikesh. Slip Away by Perfume Genius. The song is being loaded. When it's ready, you'll hear the layers of music all around you. You can even turn layers on.
This is another music
and off
venue for
to
you.
hear the song in a new way.
This is let's do that snare.
Every drum, every single beat, they were born from your body, and I'm carried by the sound.
Yeah, you can. I'll come back in if you need it. Okay, so Sarah's here. We're just taking a look at some stuff you could play with at Cool Rock. Cool Rock is an online community that I created that has got plugins and fun stuff. We've even got the news down here at the bottom, all sides. And again, you can move your page anywhere you want. If you leave it like that and hit the refresh button, you just refresh, boom, like that, and it pops right back up. See that? And you have the Vaughn chat over here, which is still loading, and Vaughn's been shut down, by the way.
Okay.
And our viewers are migrating over to iVlog, and we've got people over at Periscope chatting away.
Okay.
Got 6 people at Periscope watching us. So everyone's kind of in limp mode tonight with the show because of all the attacks that have been happening. I'm going to change the parameters of this particular box right here. It's super simple to work with, and I love this format. Yeah, I'm just going to make this a 60. There it is. Yeah, that made it easier. Now you can X out of that. So I'm going to save this on my main template so that whenever you guys go to Cool Rock, you'll be able to see it, and it'll be able to X out of this any one of these screens you want, anytime you want. All right, great. Thank you, everyone. Sarah's going to give you some time. I'm going to have a little dinner. We are dealing with a major sensor attack right now. It's like they really stepped it up. They want to shut us down the worst way. And as you know, we've been doing this for 10 years. We are unstoppable. And the internet has a way of morphing into different places, and people have a way of getting to a different place.
Should we close this and then refresh that or something?
It wouldn't matter. The servers...
Talking about iVlog.
Yes, I'm going to close that and refresh this. That's what it does. It automatically does it. All right. Sometimes they ask you to log in, but if you have it already opened in your browser, it should remain and your information stays. Hi guys. So I did open ProCam for anybody who wants to get in, but see how they got rid of our operators too? I think they IP banned Scissor Fight and they IP banned all the other people in our show.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain to you, they are shutting us down.
Yeah.
And it's been happening for 3 weeks now. I have a very strange little note we received from somebody in Thailand during the time that this happened, and it was actually an appeal to get information out to David Sponheim from a foreign nation. And all of a sudden, the whole chat room went from 38 chatters down to 1. And it remained that way for a long, long time.
Wow.
And it's like the government came in and said, no, I don't want anyone who can access a text message device to send a message to Sponheim.
Yeah.
That's what they did. And we have no access points right now in chat for people all around the world. And I've been trying to explain that we're still looking for a new chat room that anybody can get into without having to sign up.
Oh, I was.
Oh, you got a call? Okay, go
Yeah,
for it. Yeah.
but
No, I'll take over. I got
why don't
it.
you?
No, I'm good. You could take your
What
call.
about? I'll just.
You come back in about
Say that's
20
gonna
minutes
come.
for the following 8:30, mate. You should be back at 8:30 anyway.
Okay. Probably.
You got at least 20 minutes, 22 minutes to have fun.
Okay.
I believe that the Vaughn site is actually what has happened is the people who are running our government from the inside are aware of this growing third party, and what they're trying to do is kind of carom us into a corner, like you would herd an animal before you put it to the slaughterhouse. And they're trying to do that on the internet. It was just a metaphor, really. And they're trying desperately to keep the rhythm of the show from continuing and stop the viewership, but they can't stop the viewership because we broadcast directly to our America's Third Party site, which is then copied and broadcast around the world on UHF. So the millions of people that try to get in the show can't, and you guys who are in the show are lucky to be in. The people that try to get in here are systematically being knocked out. Mark admitted to banning 350 million VPN IPs. And he claimed it was no big deal. Now you'll see that Mark's site is struggling to stay on. And I have word from what appears to be a post on our C-Box, which is on our website, America's Third Party. Anybody can post there. We have word that iVlog is now censoring guests. 20 hours ago, one person said, iVlog, we haven't had guest chat for weeks now at iVlog. I'd like my privacy and I don't want to be trolled. Should I get a VPN? And the answer is yes. And then over up here, it says, sorry, Mark, censor you, bro. This is 3 weeks ago, right when this whole thing's happened. Mark made over 900 million censoring the show. So they're just throwing massive amounts of money at Mark to try to shut us down. And they can't shut us down, but they can carom us into a corner.
What's the best phone to use? You said some.
The one in the kitchen was better.
I don't know where that.
Really? It's not in the kitchen? Either one. The one that was in the middle of the living room was not. One of the problems they're having is I keep looking good. I look good. I speak well. I'm addressing the issues in a cutting edge way every night. And none of the Democratic leaders can do that. None of the Republicans can do that either. And remember, Donald Trump has been copying my ideas to get elected. Over 15 ideas he took. So this is a case of who's the best guy for the job of president. How best can we shut him down? Because we can't allow an honest man to become president. That's what they're saying to themselves. Some channels are coming back at Vaughn. Okay. Let's see if mine is. Yeah, so they're censoring Vaughn too. They might even be DDoSing him. But what's really interesting is ever since T. Rucker made an appearance 3 weeks ago, Mark Vaughn has not been seen. Now, if he's still out there, great. I hope he does well. You know, I certainly don't want bad things to happen to people, even though they are obviously selling their soul to Satan, doing the devil's work, taking money to stop a very important political movement from forming. That's my concern. And I'm not a religious person, but I can tell you there's dark forces out there that believe in dark forces. And they will collude, they'll be as corrupt as possible. They'll kill people like John F. Kennedy and R.F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King. They'll kill people like that to stop any free people's movement from forming. Okay, I've got some information. Let me see if I can get a new channel. Whew. Yeah. It's not coming up. Okay, I'm going to work on a new server, ingest server here. Let me do that right now while I'm watching the show.
This one I didn't even like really meet with her. I was just like, let's do it on this day. And she's like, let's talk or whatever.
It happens. We've had a few of these problems occur in our show many times before. It's not a big deal. Let's try a different one. No, authentication's not working. They shut down their authentication server. Huh. Yeah, no matter what I set it up as, it won't matter. The people that are DDoSing Vaughn or whatever, if Vaughn is doing it himself, he's doing it because maybe he's being paid to do it. Who knows? Yeah, I can't authenticate new ingest servers. All right. Just have to go with what I've got. Yeah, so a lot of problems occurred as a result of Trump being confronted with Nancy Pelosi telling him that he's been covering things up. And I'm glad she's spoken up at that level, but a lot of Democrats are pushing Nancy to move toward impeachment now. Okay, Vaughn is up, but my channel is down. Doxing is a person's address. Somebody revealing your address publicly. That's doxing. Or any of your personal data, your personal financial information. That's doxing. DDoSing is when a directed... Yeah. A DDoS attack occurs when somebody is attacking one particular point or node on the internet. It's a distributed denial of service is what it is. And if somebody hits a query to a computer from all different directions, it overwhelms the computer so they can't perform their job of putting the website out. Yeah, you're welcome. I think Nancy Pelosi's really too old and unaware of the real pulse of the Democratic Party. Now, had I remained in the Democratic Party, I probably would have, tried to migrate my way through the suck-ups and vodka drinkers that arrive now at the people we look at today, like Beto O'Rourke, a 0.134 alcohol level, drunken and actually fled the scene of a crime. This is like unbelievable that they've got these kinds of people at the top of the helm, but those are the kind of people that will do whatever it takes to say whatever it takes to appease the Democratic leadership. I can't believe the Republicans sold out so cheap. Russian money through the NRA. I mean, really? I mean, literally sucking Russian money through the NRA and then allowing Donald Trump to dominate American politics, throwing our country under the bus. You got some real gall, you Republicans. So you're no gleaming example of righteousness either. Republicans and Democrats are both feeding on the huge trough of corporate money. And that's why we need a third party, no question about it. People other than white men built this country? Really? Outrage as Trump's administration announces Harriet Tubman will not appear on the $20 bill as planned until after 2020. After Trump called ditching Andrew Jackson political correctness. Whatever. It doesn't even matter. I mean, if it comes down to just catering to some trivial subcultural or special interest group, it's ridiculous. I'm actually okay with Donald Trump doing whatever he wants on this level. See, I'm not that far away from Donald Trump on a lot of ideas because he's stolen so many ideas from me that a lot of my ideas are now his, but he's not implementing them correctly. Yeah, who cares? That's incidental. We really need to go after the real issues of corruption in the Democratic and Republican Party. So there's been a huge number of horses that have died. We just showed you video in our first segment of Santa Anita. The racetrack has now seen a total of 60 horses have died at the Santa Anita racetrack since 2018. That is unbelievable. So if we can get some answers from the people that are working on the track, that'd be great.
Does mention that the horse already had a slab fracture in a completely different leg.
We asked veterinarian Dr. Kate Papp to review the 36 necropsies. She treats horses at Penn National Racecourse in Pennsylvania. Dr. Papp says almost all of the horses had pre-existing injuries.
A lot of chronic wear and tear in the horses.
Oh, yeah, right, sure. Yeah, especially if you're on a bad track, you're going to have a lot of chronic wear and tear on the horses. Definitely. A big shakeup in the UK. Commons leader Andrea Leadsom, this is some world news I'm giving you. Andrea Leadsom has quit the cabinet, saying she no longer believes the government's approach will deliver Brexit. Her resignation comes amid a backlash against Theresa May's Brexit plan from Conservative MPs. So kind of a shakeup at the UK. I'm going to go to the Dow and see what that was today. It is down 100 points. The Dow is down 100 points. I was watching it go back up again during the midday. I was right here watching it going, yeah, it's going back up again. It was almost back up to its normal level and then down, 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 and then back up again. Really, a lot of profit taking, and then, whoa, like skyrockets straight down to the bottom. So we're looking at a down cycle going into tomorrow's trading. If any of you are investors, yeah. So there's a lot of weird things happening just dealing with this constant censorship during our show. We've been watching this time and time again, and I'm going to look at opening up a new venue to do the talk, and doing a chat on another venue might be helpful. So we'll be experimenting in the next few days with other opportunities like Skype too. All right. Yeah, this is the big story for the day. A charge of cover-up, a Trump tantrum, and the gears grind to a halt. The president stormed out of a meeting with the congressional Democrats, saying he won't negotiate while they investigate. So he's holding up this whole case of building a budget, infrastructure plan. He headed into what was supposed to be a meeting with congressional Democrats on how to fund a $2 trillion infrastructure package. He and they had agreed on that last month, but instead he spent 3 minutes berating Democratic leaders for saying unpleasant things about him before proclaiming that he would not work with them until they stopped investigating him. Now this is a case of obstruction, classic obstruction. Our president is now saying that if they don't stop investigating him and looking into his financial records, which obviously he's hiding because they reveal possibilities that he worked with Russian oligarchs, he won't move toward the budget or anything until they stop investigating him. This is obstruction 101 right here, right in front of your eyes. Trump then strode out of the Rose Garden, where the news media had been hastily assembled to hear him deliver a similar message and deliver another tirade about the illegitimacy of the special counsel's Russian investigation. This whole thing was a takedown attempt at the President of the United States, he asserted, affixed his lecture, and was a printed sign declaring no collusion, no obstruction. Hey, anyone who's lying about collusion and obstruction is going to behave exactly like Trump is behaving right now. Okay, we're coming back. We've got a signal coming back. Let's take a look. If I can open up the Vaughn show and see our show, that'll be great. Let's take a look. It's still getting hit. It's not up and running 100%. It is. Okay. Okay, you guys can come back. Vaughn is up. Either way, you can hang at iVlog. I like you at iVlog. Either way. We do get more chatters, though, at Vaughn, so. Steven Seagal keeps saying I look like Brienne of Tarth. I am not a woman. Yeah. It could be the Russians. Yeah, they're very sure that I have in fact put a dent in their operation, that's for sure. And this is a one-man operation, really. Sarah gives me assistance, but there's no doubt about what I consider a constant and ever vigilant effort on their part to censor us. So we must be doing something right. Yes, you're saying I look like Brienne of Tarth? That's ridiculous. So here I am looking like I do every night, and then you're telling me that I look like a woman. Okay. That's pretty funny. No, there's definitely some big differences in our face. I just can't identify any of them. And if I was Brian of Tarth, dressed as a man, would you believe me? No, dude, I'm not going tranny. Nice try, though. Okay, wrong video. Warning Weber's Falls dam failure. Which is the right video? That is the second one? No, that's Gwen Stefani. It won't let you copy and paste, yeah. Dave, do you have a large LGBT following? No, in fact, my following is modest. Do FEMA camps have Wi-Fi? That's a very good question. No, I don't look like Wally George. The only thing that makes me look like Wally George is the fact that he had blonde hair but was graying. Yeah. I think Trump looks more like Wally George. Because you look at Wally George and Trump together, you see a similarity there. Very similar hair. Well, Wally George passed away, so we just can't talk about him. It's bad to speak ill of the dead. But Dave, that is not an actual woman. So you're saying Brienne of Tarth is a dude? Really? Okay, thank you. Thanks for sharing. Swarm of children attack woman in Pleasant Hill Park.
The video shows 4 young boys punching and kicking the unidentified woman as she falls to the ground. The woman struggles to fight off her attackers while other boys stand around and watch. Listening to the video, you can hear laughing in the background. Eventually, the boys stop the attack. They slowly move away. The woman manages to get up slowly and starts to walk away. We don't know what kind of injuries she suffered, if any. The man who provided the video says the woman had been filming the boys who were throwing rocks at strangers. He says she told them to stop before she was attacked. The witness also telling CTV News he wants the video out there so something can be done to make the park safer.
Yeah. What park is it? It doesn't really say. Oklahoma City. Stars and Stripe Park, Bob Hope Pavilion. Wow. Okay. Rough kids throwing rocks. Don't try to discipline them, call the police. Yeah, that's your best bet. Apparently children are being trained to gang stalk people now. Oh yeah, they watched it on TV. It was probably on YouTube. They figured that would be funny. Right, so YouTube is banning good, solid patriots and people that support the truth, but you want to, exploit children and teach kids how to do terrible things. Oh, you'll have a YouTube AdSense account, and they'll give you money to do that. Oh yeah, it's true. Anyone talking about Pizzagate gets kicked off YouTube in a second. But you try to have children on your show and integrate kids, and pedophiles love that. YouTube caters to pedophiles in that regard. Yeah, we've seen it time and time again. But hey, this is just us watching YouTube. We don't even have a chance to communicate. I had a dispute with YouTube yesterday that ended up going against me. And I explained to them that I've been being gang stalked, and they acted like, no, their violation occurred on your show. What? Some F word was thrown out there? I never used it. Yeah, I never used it. The N word might have been used. I didn't use it. Somebody else did. But they censored my show. You can see it in the lineup. It only has the ability to go in there if you're over 18. You have to click through a splash screen to get to it. But hey, hi Sunstar. No, I don't really want to move to Canada because they've got a soft tyranny going on. Okay, hang on just a second.
Britain's parliament has seized major Facebook documents the company has tried to keep private. The files involve a lawsuit against Facebook over privacy and data controls, and they also include emails between CEO Mark Zuckerberg and other top executives. A California court has sealed the documents, but the UK is demanding answers and could release them to the public. CBS News investigative reporter Graham Cates has been covering the story, and he joins us now. So, Graham, first off, give us the significance. Tell us about these documents, what we think is in them, and why it's so significant that the UK may release them.
Sure. So we don't know exactly what's in them, but we know what a member of parliament said in seizing the documents. He wrote in a letter to the developer of an app who had the documents. We believe they contain information that is highly relevant to our ongoing investigation into disinformation and fake news. He said they're interested into whether there are insights about what senior executives at Facebook knew about concerns relating to Facebook's user data privacy and developers' access to that data.
Okay, we'll look at this later tonight. I'll keep it in the lineup. Yeah, that's one of those ones I bookmark and put in our playlist for tonight. Thank you. Yeah. Well,
yeah, that's always
any type of oversight over Mark Zuckerberg is good. Obviously, our country didn't do enough. So everyone going well tonight. Leaked audio of Howard Stern telling his staff to make fake Twitter accounts in desperate attempt to boost his declining listenership. Wow.
How do we get the word out? So set up a fake Twitter account. Become 10 different people. I don't give a shit. And then when our core team says to you, we want to get Lady Gaga on the show, they announce it on Aldred, and all of a sudden, Lady Gaga, I'm telling you, every celebrity uses the Twitter. Every celebrity starts getting random things from fans. Hey, when does it do the Howard Stern show? I'm watching on the show. And you're getting all this publicity material. And you're getting bombarded. And it works. So before it's told witnesses to bang on the door. We gotta bang on people's doors.
Okay, Howard Stern is showing the secret to his success. He's obviously running a sham. And as you know, Howard Stern sold out for a whole lot of money. That means that he's been a mouthpiece that went nowhere, like Alex Jones over the past 10 years. Controlled opposition, people, that's what they do. They buy these people out, they give them a show, give them $500 million. That's what the deal was. That was unbelievable. He was making $50 million a year, a 10-year contract. That's ridiculous. She'd never sexually harass you. Yeah, we did the Harriet Tubman not appearing on the $20 bill. I don't even care. I'll be politically incorrect and say it doesn't matter to me what Donald Trump does on that front. We've got bigger problems brewing with Donald Trump and the Russians still. And him squirming like a sneaky snake trying to prevent anyone from seeing his financial records. I don't consider that a smart businessman. I consider Howard Stern a total scumbag greedmonger. Yeah. Totally two-faced scumbag greedmonger. He sold out, I'm telling you. He doesn't have a solid view himself without going through filters, just like Alex Jones. Everything Alex Jones says, he has to clear it with the CIA and the NSA. These people are controlled opposition. When I put third party on my logo and came out with America's Third Party 10 years ago, I was immediately censored in America. Immediately. And I couldn't really understand how bad it was until later. And now I realize they are desperate to stop this third party. They are desperate. They know that an honest person running for president will destroy their scheme. Yeah. And we can break the two parties up and provide a centrist solution and unite the American people in the middle here. I support the right to bear arms, and I'm not pushing higher taxes on everyone. In fact, I even talked about my pre-show. The previous show, I talked about eliminating taxes altogether. I've come up with a plan. It's kind of cool. We already have payroll taxes. And payroll taxes already grab money out of your payroll. It goes directly to the government. That's essentially what a tax return does when you have to file your taxes. Your employer is already pulling money out. It's already happening. Withholding is going on selectively by your employer. They could pay your taxes just as easily. Other countries are doing it. So your employers pay your taxes. Anyone who's not employed doesn't have to worry about taxes. We can still use the $50,000 threshold, in which you get $50,000 tax-free. We can still do that, but still have a payroll tax. So your payroll tax will actually fund the Social Security service well into the future if we just take the cap off of it. Right now it's capped at, I think, $135,000. So anybody making $600,000 pays the same as a person paying $135,000 in income. Yeah, so I have a feeling we could eliminate the tax code as we know it. But the Democrats and Republicans don't want to do that. They actually have funding from the tax accountant industry. Oh yeah. The tax corporations out there, H.R. Block, they spend a lot of money to keep taxes as they are. So we have to fight those lobbies. But yeah, the possibility is very real of just having your employer pay his taxes for you. And so they've been pulling the wool over the American people's eyes for a long time with this tax code. And what they've essentially done is created a huge amount of paperwork for all of you and to get all freaked out April 15th. Now, I haven't paid taxes in 10 years because I don't make enough money to qualify. I retired at the age of 50. I'm 59 right now. And I can show you when I was 48, I started this effort. In 2008, I started America's Third Party. And I can tell you, retirement's been good. I'll tell you, I've never really stressed out. I'm able to do this show, which takes a lot of effort and work. But I don't get paid for it. I don't need to. I enjoy it. It's intrinsically enjoyable for me to do the show. So when you look at the person that I was when I first started this, I was 500 hours of broadcasting, and I realized how censored I was right at this time. Watch this.
Hi, good morning. As you can see, I'm still wearing the shirt I wore last night and yesterday at Blog TV. It's exhilarating to do Blog TV. We've been having an incredible time. This is in fact day 54. I thought yesterday was day 54, but we did a recount, and we determined that today is day 54 as we approach the election. And as your potential write-in candidate, David John Sponheim, I'm here to show you my hybrid electric vehicle. It's not a plug-in hybrid. That's something I want to build at the U.S. Auto Corporation that I want you, the people, to own. Check out this vehicle. Isn't that a beautiful car? Everywhere we go, we get looks. One of the reasons people look at us is we get about 60 miles per gallon, which is really nice. We've been across the country a few times campaigning, and this vehicle is truly a dream to drive. It's a little bit tough on the bumps because those tires are high pressure, just to make sure that it goes as far as it can on that gallon of gas.
Yeah, and I'm low pressure. I'm a low pressure guy, so you'll like that. I'm not a hard sell. I'm not a person who's likely to create a trade war with China. I'm a soft sell kind of guy. But the tires are high pressure. Yeah, that Honda looks exactly like it did when I purchased it. I keep it in mint condition. The ATP show really was trolled from the minute we started on Blog TV. We were slammed. And like I said, we are the most durable group out there on the internet. Nobody's been able to withstand the attack of 4chan and countless other trolls and doxers. You name it, we've been hit. We've been swatted, doxed. It goes on and on. We even had a hostile takeover of our Twitter account at Third Party by a group that we believe were connected to the Rothschilds. So what we're doing is pissing them off in a big way. They would love to just buy me out. In fact, somebody offered me $300 million, not once, but twice, to shut down. And we keep coming back without taking money, because I will not take money from evil people. This is not going to happen. I will not succumb to evil. And I'm dedicated to the people of this country, not to some corporation and not to some government entity. So that's the big difference between what this third party offers and what the two parties are offering, which is sold out, bought off greedmongers like Trump and Beto O'Rourke and Joe Biden. Zionists who absolutely support the Israeli occupation of every area that they currently occupy and more, with a bias toward Israel. Now, I'm willing to be objective. I like Israel. I don't hate Israel. I don't want to turn against Israel. I do see them as an ally, but I'm not going to let them have free reign over our foreign policy and dominate the world's policy as well. Now, in lieu of the fact that I am objective, I'm open to the issue of the Iran situation. I'm more than willing to relax economic sanctions against Iran, although I can't sign a new treaty with them because they still want to create more nuclear weapons. Obama allowed them to have one nuclear weapon, which they're probably, shining and polishing as we speak. But at this point, hating on Israel is not going to solve problems either, because obviously they've got the Samson option, and no one's confirmed this, but they have the ability to destroy the world 40 times over. So why would we want to attack that nest of danger, if you will? But seeing them as an ally, that works for me, as long as we don't condone the killing of Palestinian children. And that behavior has been ridiculous, been getting away with that. Israel's been getting away with that for a number of years now, just shooting them, thinking that's going to stop these young men from going out and throwing rocks at them. They're creating a terrorism faster than they can stop it. So we are different insofar as when I first started the show, I was straight as an arrow. I wouldn't take on conspiracy issues except to say, well, we'll look into that. And I have, after 10 years of deep, detailed research, I can tell you there are conspiracies going on. And they're happening at the highest levels of government. John F. Kennedy died over this, same subject. Robert F. Kennedy died over the same subject. Martin Luther King died over the same subject. I'm more than willing to entertain conspiracy theories, even if they're seen by the media as a joke. I have yet to see valid information confirming a lot of terrorist attacks that have happened around the world, including in America. I've cited the simple fact that the only open casket shown throughout the world, the only open casket grave, was a man who was buried in the Charleston shooting attack in 2015. This man. The problem is, his head is deformed. Yeah. His name was Clemente C. Pickney. And yeah, he had a, you can see that there's an oblong shape in his head there. Yeah, I know. Anyway, I did a search online, and I'll do it in real time right now and see if I can show you. The internet's been scrubbed of every single picture of this guy. In fact, the only picture that's left, when you look up, I'll just do it in real time for you. When you look up Charleston pastor, open casket, let me Google it for you. Charleston shooting, open casket, pastor. Here are the images. There are none. Nothing. They just have removed. They have shots from afar. You can see those. But all of the video, all the pictures that showed his head compared to the actual person's head are gone. Every one of them. As you can see, I'm scrolling down. Countless pictures showing him speaking. Right. But the one picture that was exploited on the internet, all over the internet, there were lots of sites that talked about this, showing his ear was lower. That's gone. It's scrubbed off the internet. Look at that. Completely gone. That's the picture that showed a comparison of his face relative to the wax part of his head. And I have that picture. There's a picture from a distance. I have that picture in my memory, which I can pull out for you and show you. I've shown it to you before on the show. But it's just interesting how it's completely scrubbed from the internet. The thumbnail's gone. Whether the picture even clicks to something is gone. Anything with that picture is gone. Wow. See, I'm going way deep into this. I still haven't found it. Thousands of pictures deep now, and all of the pictures have been scrubbed that showed that comparison. Okay, wow. Huh. Look at that. There's another picture of the two of them. This is a pretty good comparison of the deformation of his skull, showing that his head was wedge-shaped in the casket, and there's a significant difference in the shape of his head. And that's why you can't use wax, because it forms deformations. You definitely can see a change there. Let me get that picture from my library, and I'll show it to you. Yeah, I usually have it stacked right there with the other one, but this at least gives me a better chance to show it to you now. Well, chocolate melts too. Yes, I use Windows. Thank you. So I really am, I'm sitting on probably the only photograph of this guy that's out there. I'll be darned. Now I just have to find it in my library. Ironic that it would just disappear like that. Yeah. I don't think anyone's been in my folder to see my stuff. Hey, thank you. The avocado shampoo is part of the deal. I'm also using that shea butter shampoo made by a woman in Nigeria. Yeah. Mastering the hair was essential to the show, and now that I've done that, it's pretty much, you know, we got an open ride going forward. Very few people can talk about my hair now and accuse me of being a person who doesn't have hair. Beautiful hair, long shining hair. This picture, it constantly reminds me of what we're dealing with. The people who got him killed are still in power in America, and unless those people are in prison, America won't ever be free. You love this song, really? Paper Planes. Okay, I'll play that later. Thank you. Yeah, you're new here, U.S.-made planes. Yeah. Ben-Gurion ordered JFK's death over the Dimona Yasser Arafat Sr. That's an interesting clip. Hey, that'll be a good video for tonight. Thank you. Yeah, until and unless the people are imprisoned in America will ever be free. Okay, I'll play that later tonight about JFK and Ben-Gurion.
Thank you for that. That was good.
Okay, great.
Appreciated that.
Yeah. Great. Well, I'll show you that picture from my library a little bit later. It's buried in my conspiracy folder. Let me see if I can pull it out. Yeah, there's the only open casket of anybody in the history of these shootings has been this one guy, and they scrubbed his internet picture off of the air. He doesn't exist anymore.
Are you going to show him when you come back?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm not going to show it now. I just wanted to get it queued up. No, Sarah's here. She's just coming in a little bit late.
I was a little bit late because I was talking to one of my best friends.
Great.
Catching up on good things in life.
Okay, that's it. I'll bring it back when I see you. All right, thank you.
It's important in my opinion to build and nourish your relationships of people that are important to you. So that's what I was doing. There we go. Today was a great day. I don't know how you guys feel about climate science, but I definitely believe it's happening, and I know it's happening. There's no doubt about it, especially after the whole issue about how they can measure carbon dioxide and in ice cores. However, with climate change instead of like, oh no, the world is ending with the climate change. Yes, maybe. Well, it's definitely changing and it's going to get hotter. And I don't know if we're ever going to be able to go back to where we were once were. But I do have a lot of hope in my life because I believe worms can save the world. However, worms are being affected too, and mankind. Yes, worms can save mankind because you need worms to get good soil, to grow good crops, to feed the people. What does ice core carbon have to do with anything? Well, just like the rings on a tree can date how old a tree is, ice cores can date how old the ice is. And not only that, but as the ice is going in the air, the oxygen or the gases get trapped in the fingers of the ice. And as it goes down and creates these sediments, these layers of ice, so that they can actually then take a certain section of ice, and they can go back and because of the different fluctuations in temperature, different seasons, they can say, okay, this ice was made in spring, summer, this ice was made in fall, winter, because of how it is. So they can actually go back and date the ice. So 800,000 years worth of ice. And then the thing that's special about ice is that the air gets trapped as the snow is falling, and then it becomes sealed in the ice. So there's little tiny air bubbles in the ice, and they can, once they take out the ice core, they drill it out, they can melt it in a vacuum condition. So they melt it in the vacuum, and when they melt it, that's how they can tell there's been fluctuations in carbon dioxide amounts in the ice, and that's how they know like that there's so much more carbon dioxide in our atmosphere today than there was historically. That's what ice cores have to do with it. I'm sure humans have cut down a huge amount of trees, and that could possibly be why we have our carbon issues. It's not, it's not just industry and cars, but it's also how much land we've converted from forests into living spaces, or how many trees we've cut down. And there's also like these amazing tree rings. And you can go and just like they can take ice cores, they can take a core out of the tree and they can date how old the tree is. Well, there's this particular tree that I saw that you could see these big, thick rings, and then the rings became so tiny. And what happened is that it was part of this massive forest. And then they cut all the trees around it. And so then the tree got really stressed and didn't have the big rings that it used to have. No, I'm not saying the greater the carbon, the more ice we will get. The greater the carbon in the atmosphere, it also has to do with temperature. And the more carbon that we have in the atmosphere, the hotter our planet will get. That's really what it boils down to, if I can say it in one sentence. More carbon, especially carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, leads to higher temperatures. Thank you. Thanks, Misanthropy, for the link. No, Bingo. There isn't hot carbon in cold ice. Carbon is in our atmosphere. It's floating around in the air, carbon dioxide. The greater amount of carbon dioxide that's in our atmosphere correlates to hotter temperatures on our planet. The carbon got trapped in the ice because as snow falls, air gets trapped in the snow, and then it just like sedimentary rocks slowly build up from soil and layers and layers and layers of dirt falling and pressing down. The ice in Antarctica, it builds up, but instead of having dirt fall, it builds up from layers and layers and layers of ice. And inside that ice is trapped air. And some of that air is in the form of carbon dioxide. They can actually then take that ice, melt it in a vacuum, and figure out how much of that air that was trapped inside is in the form of carbon dioxide, how much of the air that is trapped inside is in the form of other gases. So Sarah, what is 46% of 3 trillion? It's a little less than 1.5 trillion. Okay, wait. It's gas. And the issue is that we have greenhouse gases all around us, and actually if we didn't have any greenhouse gases or gases, we wouldn't have an atmosphere and we couldn't actually be as humans. So there's the sun comes in, hits the earth, goes through our atmosphere, hits the earth, goes up. Some of it gets trapped inside, which allows for our nice temperatures on earth, and some of it goes out into the atmosphere. It's kind of like a down blanket, right? You have this blanket on you and you need that to stay warm. But the more gases that are floating up in the atmosphere, when there's more gases, then it's like adding another layer of down to you. So instead, like one down blanket might be just super comfortable, but then you get 2 down blankets on you and you're like super hot. So the gas is, and the reason that it gets hot is, well, the sun comes in, the heat from the sun comes into earth, and then it tries to go back out, but it can't go out because it can't make its way through the double layer of down. Okay, you're trying to make a point. I missed your point because I didn't read your article. I will read your article. Massive restoration of world's forests would cancel out a decade of CO2 emissions, analysts suggest. New findings suggest trees are our most powerful weapon in the fight against climate change, says scientists. Good job. Yes, I agree with that. Replenishing the world's forests on a grand scale would suck enough carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to cancel out a decade of human emissions, according to a new ambitious study. Scientists have established there is room for an additional 1.2 trillion trees to grow in parks, woods, and abandoned lands across the planet, and on rooftops. Anyway, if such a goal were accomplished, ecologist Dr. Thomas Crowther said it would outstrip every other method for tackling climate change, from building wind turbines to vegetarian diets. I agree. Lack of accurate information meant for years experts severely underestimated the number of trees on Earth. Combining data from ground-based surveys and satellites, Dr. Crowther and his colleagues arrived at a figure of 3 trillion, over 7 times more than the previous NASA estimate. The same approach, using machine learning and AI to analyze the enormous data set, allowed the researchers to predict the number of trees that could feasibly be planted in empty patches around the world. Dr. Crowther said undervaluing trees means scientists have been massively underestimating the potential for forests to combat climate change. Good point. This is very good. Project Drawdown, a group that compares the merits of different emission cutting techniques, currently places onshore wind power and improved recycling of fridges and air conditioners at the top of the list. Not as much as trees or growing things or compost. I mean, what I'm doing with composting is actually really big with climate. You don't understand how things froze in the first place with all that carbon. Do you realize that carbon dioxide is a gas? Let's start with that. Do you understand that concept? If rolled out on a realistic scale, each of the techniques would cut over 80 gigatons of emissions, while growing forests languishes in 15th place with a savings of just 18 gigatons. New research undertaken by Dr. Crowther has used the 1.2 billion figure to estimate the potential scale of carbon capture that could be achieved by planting trees and reveal their true potential. There's 400 gigatons now in the 3 trillion trees. If you were to scale that up by another trillion trees, that's in the order of hundreds of gigatons captured from the atmosphere. At least 10 years of anthropogenic emissions completely wiped out, he said. While the exact figures are yet to be released, he said trees had emerged as our most powerful weapon in the fight against climate change. I completely agree with this. Dr. Crowther discussed his findings at the American Association for the Advancement of Science meeting in Washington, D.C. Full restoration of all sites identified is clearly unrealistic, but tree planting is increasingly being recognized as a critical activity to preserve life on Earth. The United Nations initially ran a project known as a Billion Tree Campaign, but in light of Dr. Crowther's findings, has been renamed the Trillion Tree Campaign. It's already seen 17 billion trees planted in suitable locations around the world. We're not targeting urban or agriculture area, just degraded or abandoned lands. And it has the potential to tackle the 2 greatest challenges of our time, climate change and biodiversity loss, said Dr. Crowther. It's a beautiful thing because everyone can get involved. Trees literally just make people happier in urban environments. They improve air quality, water quality, food quality, ecosystem service. It's such an easy, tangible thing. Thank you so much, Miss Anthropy. I love it, and I completely agree. Bamboo, actually, you are right, Bingo. A lot of things, bamboo can capture more carbon than trees even, and bamboo is very good for climate change. Well, actually, I do have a boxwood that I transplanted. I've moved from one place to another. I have been planting undergrowth to help the big trees survive longer, because trees in a forested area will do better than trees that are just standing there by themselves. I have a lot. We have restored a native plant garden. We're working on restoring a forest area. Not necessarily with trees, but trees are really good. And I love our local Gary Oak Society. they are planting Gary oak trees to help areas survive. Bamboo does grow like a weed. I'm okay. Is it time for bed? No. Yes, we've planted some Gary oak trees. Have a hollyhock growing. It's so cool to see things grow. And for me, it's not just, it's not just trees, but anything we can grow. The more green things you can grow. There's this other guy, an agricultural, a guy who's a farmer, and he, long story short, if you add compost to your grass, it will grow better. It will be actually better for the soil, and it will actually be able to sequester carbon better. Well, our oak trees around here are called Gary oaks, and they're named for somebody on a ship. Patrick Gary, I think his name is. Garry. We not only need more bees, you talk about it, bees, but there's also an article my friend shared with me today because he knows I love worms. I think it was Guardian. I don't know. Yes, this is it. Ooh, the Guardian. That was in February, Species Watch. But here was a really good article my other friend shared with me. How many trees have I personally planted? Well, I did have, not recently, but a while ago, we had probably about 50 apple trees, which I could have just pulled out because they were growing in my garden beds and we did not want apple trees growing there. So I could have pulled them out as weeds. Instead, I pulled them out and put them in planters and transplanted them and gave them to people to plants. Now it's funny because I had some other students do that more recently. I saw more apple trees growing in my garden bed, so I was like, here, take an apple tree home and plant it. And the well, now they look and they're like, is this an apple tree? And it's actually a thing called bindweed, and it's, I don't know why they think it looks, maybe it has a pointed leaf at the end, so maybe that's why they think it's an apple tree. But so now they're taking bindweed home to grow. Okay, this is a cool article my friend shared with me earlier today. I didn't mean to give them weeds to plant. It's kids. I don't know. Kids will do what kids do. So this is the article. It's not just about the bees. Earthworms need love too. They may not be cute, but the work they do for our soil keeps humans in business, but their numbers are in steep decline. By Jules Howard. I totally want to follow Jules Howard. If earthworms had feathers, wings, or fur, or eyes that looked mournful, or eyes at all, perhaps they would fare better in the public's affections. This is a clutch of species facing as much pressure from the ecological abuse of their habitats as any other. Yet, unlike, say, bees, which have their own UN Day of celebration today, the decline of worms rarely makes the news. This is a shame. We need to talk more about worms. The health of our earth may depend upon it. Earthworms are not doing very well at the moment. This year, a scientific study found that 42% of fields surveyed by farmers were seriously deficient in earthworms. In some fields, they were missing altogether. Particularly hard hit were deep burrowing worms, which are valuable in helping soil collect and store rainwater. But they were absent from 16% of fields in the study. The cause of these earthworm declines? The usual. An overstretched environment creaking at its seams from the demand of modern Homo sapiens. But you may not have heard about the worrying impact of earthworms because, well, it's basically an organism with a mouth and an anus, and that's about it. I would argue that even with this anatomical simplicity, worms have more charm and charisma than many politicians or Instagram influencers, and more to offer us. If the needs of earthworms are met, the land becomes, as if by magic, more fertile. Though modern farming practices are contributing to worms' decline, farmers are encouragingly coming to understand that worms are allies, not enemies. This is one of many reasons why we need to keep flying the flag for worms. Though we share very little with these organisms, we do share a rocky planet that is covered with a sprinkling of soil that they churn up for us, mixing up the nutrients upon which many millions of species depend. With almost every animal on Earth, we humans like to seek out the common ground. But with earthworms, it's different. They don't share ground with us. Earthworms provide it. I love that. That Guardian article, I just love it. I didn't know today was, or it was Monday, May 20th. That was UN Celebration Day, Bee Celebration Day. Here's some brainy garden quotes. Love is like a beautiful flower which I may not touch, but whose fragrance makes the garden a place of delight, just the same. Helen Keller. A good garden may have some weeds. Thomas Fuller. My favorite garden quote, oh, here it is. No. My favorite garden quote is, a garden is a grand teacher. It teaches industry and thrift, patience, something like that. And then it says, above all, it teaches entire trust. It's by Gertrude Jekyll. That's my favorite garden quote. Wow. In the Midwest, after thunderstorms, worms come out in mass. But after a thunderstorm in LA, there's not a worm in sight. Wow, that's so sad. Where have all the earthworms gone? Ha ha, Dr. Classme. Our earthworms, well, my worms are not just earthworms, they're red wriggler worms, and they can eat their body weight in one day, and they are amazing. I love my worms. Oh. Yeah. I got to show off my worms today. And we're taking all the wasted food because sadly a lot of kids don't they don't eat all their food, and we're composting at our school. I'm taking all the school's food scraps from kids that don't eat it, and we make what we call worm soup. And it's soup that we feed to our worms. Yes! Bingo, yes. Peak rhododendron blooms. Is it here? Merrickert Gardens, is it already here? Okay, it's added, Miss Misanthropy. Sarah is from the DC of America. What does that mean? I'm from the general populace of America. Why don't you write to Netflix and tell them?
All right. That was good.
Yeah.
Looked like you could use a rest.
I hope I left some radishes. I pulled some radishes up, but I left them outside. I hope the crows don't get to them. Well,
they're outside as
whatever.
Where?
They're outside in my garden.
Oh, outside in your garden. Oh, yeah. Crows will do that. Yeah.
Maybe they won't. They didn't bother them most of the day.
Yeah, and they are kind of a bitter vegetable. Radishes are not exactly, super tasty for a crow. Of course, I'm not a crow. I wouldn't know.
Oh, did I post this link for you guys all? My friend gave me this link that was so cute. It's about saving. It's not just about the bees. Earthworms need love too.
Oh, yeah.
And it's how actually, what was interesting is that a scientific study found that 42% of fields surveyed by farmers were deficient in earthworms.
Yeah, they're a dying breed.
Yeah, and 16% of the fields didn't have any worms, or at least not the deep burrowing kind.
I watch the robins in the morning, and they get out there early in the morning because the worms are still out. It's they're just going down underground because the sunlight's coming up. And the robins are amazing. They are able to spot these worms, and
yeah, I gotta keep my compost bins closed. No birds.
It's amazing how the birds live on worms. And worms naturally grow in the ground whether we like it or not.
Or they sometimes they either live on worms or the food scraps. So yesterday or whatever, I said, go scare that. One of the kids left the bin open, and I told him, go scare that crow away. All right, I'm going to leave you now in very capable hands with David.
Thank you.
Sponheim.
Thank you so much.
Here's
Enjoy.
my-
Yeah, enjoy your rest.
I'm going to fly away with my butterfly pin.
Thank you. Yeah, I wake up at the crack of dawn sometimes with Sarah and look at the worms and watch the robins. And they eat the worms. They love it. And those robins are very territorial. They look at me and they're like, what are you doing out here? This is my worm time. Oh, you really trust the Tor browser for Android release? Seriously? You read the memo about the Tor browser that was created as a fusion project with the Navy and the FBI? You really think you've got anonymity on that thing? Well, thanks for posting the ZDNet link. Tor is supposed to be an anonymous way of communicating through multiple proxy servers that rotate. Yeah, there was a rumor about a year ago that they had gotten a malware connected to their email system and that they had been corrupted. Well, then it followed with a discussion about how they started as a fusion project of the Navy and the FBI. Yeah, sure. The government owns all the VPNs except for just a few that I know of. Yeah, so VPNs are owned by the government too. You don't have any anonymity on the government's watch list. You're basically watched. Big Brother is watching you right now. I'm sorry to have to tell you that. It takes a human being to tell another human being that you're being watched. Hey, Dr. Colostomy, you got that same old video from Saturday Night Live that you're so proud of? Making copies. You know, we can't play that during the show or we get monetized by YouTube. And YouTube just told me I had a over 18 show. They announced that one of my shows was over 18. I must have had a bad word in it. Yeah, I can't. Making copies. It's so funny back in 1976, but gosh, it's not 1977. Or was it 78? Thank you. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, time moves on. The snowflakes don't even get that humor, man. I mean, unless you're tuned in like this guy. He discovered his life was really kind of working out real well when he found out that Donald Trump was his man and that Donald Trump was going to stop the deep state. He's your typical QAnon supporter. Yeah. He never asked questions either. Everything is fake news, and it's all a Russian hoax. It's all fake news. It's all targeting Donald Trump. It never occurred to him that Donald Trump might be lying through his teeth incessantly, and that those Republicans who support him are actually traitors to this country and are working for Russia. He didn't get that. Yeah, well, you wish. Good humor was timeless. That's why I set up a site that has funny things on it. Yeah, we've been recently attacked by a couple of different sources, so I've expanded out my horizons to our new website, coolrock.com. And it's a fantastic way of experiencing music from your desktop. Ladies and gentlemen, from Los Angeles, California. I started Cool Rock in 1995. I think I was living up here when I started it. Cool. Hey, they finally put an ad advertising Scraplet. Thank you. Good job, Steve. Steve, he hangs out at Scraplet. He is a genius. I met this guy in 2010, and man, he is and boy, has he created a cool site. I use free space on Scraplet, but man, you can check out everything here. All kinds of ways, portals to the internet. This one takes to the Web 08 ACES. It takes you right over there. It'll take you to the Drudge Report instantly. You want the Drudge? It's right there. Boom. Instantly. Yeah, they still think I'm built guilty. TV's Barrymore. End of May, hours away. Drudge Report. Yeah. So this would be your hangout, and you access it at Cool Rock by simply going to the right button over here, which is Web Oasis. Now here's our show. This is our community, and we're live right now in the show. You get both chat rooms on the screen. And if you want to play some music, you can. I've got a drum machine going on here. You can set it up any way you want, but you can play whatever I played, which sucks. And if you want to interact with the computer system, you can do it here. Interesting response. We've also got another piano here, Piano Genie. These are all just plugins. Everything's free and everything's fun. You do have to activate Flash, though, to make this site work. And I have discovered Mr. Doob, which is an incredible choice. These croutons right here give you cool, really psychedelic kind of stuff, Peter Mac stuff. You just go for it. And this is like a journey into the unknown. When I go into these buttons, I don't know what I'm going to get. Here's this guy masturbating. No, he's just, there he is. He's taking his rag and throwing it in the garbage. Okay, next subject. This one right here, you want to play with that? Build in 3D. You can skyrocket, build your own space station, whatever. But the best site of all takes you deeper. And this is right next to the type button right there. Right over here next to it is this button, which takes you to all these cool places. Yeah. Today I went to Mars and came back out of Uranus. Yeah. Let's check this one out. I did like a CGI virtual reality trip to Mars and then out of Uranus. Well, the gas planets are all very similar. How to pronounce Google? Yes, I would like to know how to pronounce Google. Here's 20 years of global oil imports and exports, and you can find out right here everything you want to know about global... Please. My God, that was like ear rape. My goodness. What the hell? You got stories in oil. This is just one of the croutons at that site. I haven't discovered them all. I've been to a few, but they're growing on me. The new Renault Escape WebGL Visualizer prototype. This is a VR site. It actually opens up into... Whoa. Whoa, and you can look at that any which way you want. Introducing the three-dimensional Renault experience. You want close-up? We got close-up. Okay, So that's basically it. But you can find it all at coolrock.com. All right, thank you. Oh, and we've got news from all three sides, all connected news services representing the left, the center, and the far right. And some of you people are a little bit bummed out that I don't represent Trump, you know? Sorry, third party transcends two parties. This is a cool site. You can find out about all the states. Say you want to find about Texas. The Republic of Texas achieved its independence from Mexico in 1836. The same year as the famous siege of the Alamo, in which pioneers Jim Bowie and David Crockett were slain. The Lone Star State was the 28th state to join the Union. And it doesn't come with a voiceover, so you actually have to read it. All right, thanks for joining the Cool Rock community, whether you like it or not. We are available all the time. Yeah, so we're promoting our show any which way we can, and for some people who can't get the show on Vaughn because we had an outage tonight, you can always catch us at Cool Rock. Just activate Flash. Thank you. You didn't have any refreshes? That's good, Hog Slammer. Everyone else was slammed hard, Hog Slammer. Yeah, one guy came in here with like 45 minutes he was trying to refresh to get in the show. Yes, well, today is Wasteful Wednesday, and I have to emerge from this discussion about dealing with other things right now, which we've got plastic waste on our shores. As you know, I want to ban plastic waste, digital circuitry, things like that. Oh, Trump diversion, sorry. Yeah, I got into the different section. I was trying to get rid of ban plastic packaging. I'm going to go with the background there. So we're kind of talking about environmental stuff, and of course we can always discuss Trump's diversions, whether he wants to attack North Korea, Iran, Venezuela. Eeny, meeny, miny, oh, I'm going to pick one of those countries just to attack, to take everyone's mind off this terrible thing. I'm so wronged. My life has been so frustrating dealing with the Russian hoax and all these lies and deceit. And come on, man. We can tell you've been collaborating with the Russians. I mean, dude, you didn't even take notes in 7.5 hours of private conversations with Vladimir Putin. What the hell? What do you want the American to expect? We're not stupid, Donald. But maybe you are. That dude just looked like me, I know. Yeah, you got to break your addiction to ordering McDonald's delivery now that they deliver. Yeah, it's costing you a fortune, dude. It's not helping your midriff either. The lazy cigarette smoker? Okay.
Oh, yes, das sind
Okay, so this isn't rocket science. He hooked up an armature to his rotating fan. That's hilarious. And bless you for sharing your moment in the sun. I'll thank you. Janice explained by Let's Continued Utopia. I'll play that later. I don't know what I'm oh yeah, I've got that in the bookmark. All right, we're covered. Okay, anything on your mind? Dave, did you already get the link so I can quit posting? Jeez, misanthropy. About the teen who killed herself with a gunshot through her mouth while hands cuffed behind her back? No, I missed that one. I got it now. Thanks for ruining my day. Oh, this is a bummer. The teen killed herself with a gunshot through her mouth while handcuffed behind her back. How did that happen? According to the medical examiner's office in Virginia, a 19-year-old woman died from a gunshot wound through her mouth while her hands were cuffed behind her back. It was ruled a suicide. Are you serious? The finding matched the account of Sarah Wilson's death by the Chesapeake Police Department that said that she shot herself while officers were trying to detain her boyfriend. How? With her hands behind her back? That's absurd. Wilson was the passenger of a car pulled over by the police on July 25th, 2018. The 19-year-old's boyfriend, Holden Meldlin, was driving, age 27, when they were stopped by two police officers, one patrol and one from narcotics. Separating the two from the car, one officer handcuffed Wilson, while the others struggled to detain Meldlin, who was reportedly combative and tried to flee the scene, as reported by Wavy in August. While officers tried to get control of Meldlin, Wilson was left alone and reportedly was able to get a gun, possibly from inside the car while she was a passenger, contorted her body and shot herself through the mouth while still wearing handcuffs, according to a police spokesman. So she was handcuffed with her hands behind her back, and somehow she got the revolver to point in her mouth while handcuffed. That's impossible. That's what the investor told me last night, the dead woman's mother said. In all of her life, I have never known of her to shoot a gun, own a gun, or even hold a gun. Police were not able to explain how Wilson was able to get access to the gun and said it was not a police weapon. So they stuck a gun in her mouth, claimed it was hers, and killed her. They reportedly tried to save Sarah Wilson's life after the gunshot, but that she died at the location of the shooting. Yeah, when you have a gunshot to your mouth, you usually die. Reports say one officer was wearing a body camera at the time of the stop, but it was knocked off during the struggle with Meldlin and turned off when it hit the ground. Oh, isn't that convenient? It was off during the shooting and did not capture the teen's death. After Meldlin was detained, the camera was reattached and turned back on to record. Police said the Chesapeake Police Department declined to release the body camera footage. All right. Oh, this is ridiculous. See what I mean about police cover-up in this country right now? Thanks, Misanthropy, for sending that link to us. Yeah, appreciate it. Whew, wow. Hey, welcome, I guess. Yeah, we're not pro-LGBTQ, you know. Yeah, I just want you to know that. That means that you can be gay. I won't treat you differently, but I'm not supporting your cause. Okay, gay boy? Thanks. Well, let's be clear. We're entering chat once again. Kiefer boy, remember we talked about using those bad words here? Mark allows those. You shouldn't even see those on screen. Yeah. All right. Little Dog, a robot built by Boston Dynamics, programmed by the CLMC lab at the University of Southern California. What are we looking at?
This video is a short overview of the quadruped locomotion control framework developed at USC as part of the DARPA Learning Locomotion project. This project aims to push the performance of robotic legged locomotion to a new level. The locomotion controller, developed at the Computational Learning and Motor Control Lab at USC, is able to autonomously navigate and cross very challenging terrain, including obstacles and gaps as large as the full leg length of the robot. Special attention has been given to stability, smoothness, and movement speed. Body movements that have been optimized for stable yet dynamic movements even in highly challenging terrains are combined with leg movements that avoid the terrain in an optimal fashion. This gives unprecedented movement speed over very difficult terrain.
Okay, I get the whole message, and the music is a little bit too much. It might be monetized by the time I get done with it. It's probably a Concerto number 7 in D minor by Ludwig von Beethoven, if I'm not mistaken. I'm usually pretty accurate with my classical music. Hey, want to take a spin? Yeah, see, this is another aspect of the Cool Rock site. You can actually get on a car and drive while you're traveling. Whoa, see? And you thought you were going to be bored tonight. Where would you like to go? You can go slow, go fast, whichever you want. Whoa, whoa. Oh, it's going in reverse now. Whoa, spin out. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I am getting a little bit bored with that. I'm going to get back into the show now. So ban plastic packaging would be a good start in the right direction. How do you like that, ABG? What are you talking about? How do you like that ABG secure browser? I have various browsers in the package, yeah. We've got ABG, we've got Firefox, we've got Chrome, we've got Opera, we've got every imaginable odd one, Vivaldi. Have you checked out Vivaldi yet? It's pretty cool. Hey, I'm throwing it out there that banning plastic packaging wouldn't cost us much of it all. I mean, what, you take a brown bag home? I mean, I don't know what the big problem is. Does anybody here object to banning plastic packaging? Press 1. Only biodegradable plastic and compostable plastic would be allowed. Press 1 if you don't want that. You want your plastic bags? I want my plastic bags, Dave. Okay. I understand. It's okay. You love plastic. That's a famous scene in The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman where he said, the guy walked up and said, "Son, the future is plastics." So here's a virtual reality little community you can go to at this site. Isn't that cool? It's called Infinitown, and it's a place that you can go to have a friend. It's kind of like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Now, you can hang out there. Now, this is the multiplicity of things you can look at this site goes deep, I'm telling you. I mean, who doesn't want to go to a place like Infinitown? Now, where you go, what you do, that's up to you. Whatever happens in Infinitown stays in Infinitown. And you notice there's no CCTV cameras. Yeah. So you can walk around, hang out, go down, go up, even look at the chemtrails up close and personal. These chemtrails were manufactured just for you. Yeah. Yeah, Ocasio-Cortez said if you plant cauliflowers, you're probably a closet white supremacist who promotes a colonial approach to gardening that oppresses minorities. I don't know how many minorities feel oppressed anymore with all the free education they get with affirmative action. So it's kind of hard to jump on board the Ocasio-Cortez bandwagon. It's almost bizarre how that woman paints herself as some sort of a victim when she's been living a lavish luxury life. I think Abraham Lincoln would be rolling over in his grave right now. My fellow Americans, as much as I support the right of African Americans to live freely and law-abiding American citizens unite all people, I certainly don't want anyone with extreme greed dominating our country. And Ocasio-Cortez is just that person. Yes. She's a greedy one, Mr. Grinch. Yeah, the globalists are putting her out. The same people that killed me. Yes, indeed. I'm not saying Henry Kissinger killed me. No. I'd be talking like him if I did. But I'm telling you that the social justice Democrats are being powered up by the same people, George Soros, and the same people connected to the Russian oligarchs and the communists of Russia. I am still looking for her picture. Yes. Oh, I'm in the wrong scene. Okay, well, I was looking for Ocasio in the wrong department. Yeah, I had her in a different venue. Ocasio, Ocasio, where are you, Ocasio? There she is! Ah! Okay, so we only had one person who said no to plastic bags. So the rest of you said okay. You don't said no to having bans on plastic bags. So the rest of you are okay with the ban on plastic bags. So I'm sorry, guest 198, you lose. Say no plastic bags today. That's right, Petoro. So we're going to try to clean up this planet, and I can tell you, Ocasio is not going to do that. Her Green New Deal is right out of her butt. I think she should go try a compostable toilet and see how that floats. But anyway, we really have to deal with the far left, and we're going to appease them by giving them really good solutions for the environment. As you know, I'm a person who's really strong on the environment. So much so that I'm actually the one who talks about the climate rape that's going on. Look at this. Ocasio doesn't talk about chemtrails. Beto O'Rourke doesn't talk about chemtrails. We're being dumped on by chemtrails, folks. And the Democrats, Republicans won't talk about it. You see why? Because they're owned by the deep state. They're owned by the same people that are pumping these chemicals in our head right now. Yeah, go ahead and make my day. I'm sorry, but we can't get to those planets, Kiefer boy. You didn't get the memo? Yeah, we didn't go to the moon. We can't travel to faraway planets. We can't even get out of the Van Allen belts, dude. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Well, let's be clear. Well, we're going to go to the moon, sure, but we're not going to mine it. It's like mining a glory hole. You never know when you're going to hit the mother lode. Michelle and I are active lovers. I know, and we need to help the Mother Earth today. And I am here to help you. But the elitists are saying, no. The Illuminati is saying, no, we want to destroy the Earth so that you humans will die off and then we can fix the Earth. Isn't that right? That's right, David. Did you hear Hillary was going to run 2020? There's talk that her clone is going to actually get in the race. Hang on, I got to salute. We've got the sound of freedom. Have you ever felt like an audio animatrized robot at Disneyland? Hogwash, hogwash. Aliens will show us the way. Ooh, I like that. Well, we certainly aren't going to get the Rothschilds to show us the way.
And here it is, the Balfour Declaration. What do you feel when you see it here?
I genuinely feel it's one of the most extraordinary moments in the history of the Jewish people. If you think it took 3,000 years to get to this, and then you say, how did this miracle happen? It's the most incredible piece of opportunism. I mean, if you think you had an impoverished would-be scientist, Chaim Weizmann, who somehow gets to England, meets a few people, including members of my family, seduces them. He has such great charm and conviction. He gets to Balfour, and he unbelievably persuades Balfour and Lloyd George, the Prime Minister, and most of the ministers, that this idea of the national home for Jews should be allowed to take place. I mean, it's so unlikely. Then he's, starts to fight a difficult battle with the British cabinet, and this letter goes through 5 drafts, as you know. And in the end, it comes out as a rather compromising letter. I mean, the essential point is there for the Jewish community to fasten on to. You have the first bit, which promises a national home rather than the national home.
Yes, indeed. And they have been very, very busy working on a home for Jews. And they have it. They have a home for the Jewish people, and it is Israel. And we can't go backward in time, but this group of people that created Israel now want global new world order. They want total control over you humans, and they will do anything to achieve it. Anything at all. Global dominance is what they do. Now, you'd like to go to Mars, and I can take you to Mars right now. Let's take a rewind to the red planet. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, whoa, yeah. Okay. A young water world at one time, 3.8 billion years ago, Mars supposedly was. If Mars explorers could literally step back 3.8 billion years, they would be walking on a warmer gray world. The iron-rich soil had not yet rusted, and the planet was blanketed in a thicker atmosphere. Geologic clues suggest that Mars back then was covered with crater lakes, river valleys, and maybe even a large ocean in the northern hemisphere. So this is where you want to go, huh? Well, it's kind of uninhabitable now, so if it indeed did exist with that type of environment. Okay, anywhere you want to go, we can go anytime. Oh my gosh, we've got something. Yeah, aren't you something? Spanky. Yep, we got it. You asked for it, you got it, Toyota. Obama hated America. Yeah, he didn't really help. Yeah, I agree. Obama was, I ran against Obama. I certainly would never support him. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, now I have to dredge it up yet again. I wonder how that happened. Huh. Okay, that's done. Great. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to pull in some information right now that was kept from me, unfortunately. Yeah, we've been pulling up some information on some people that were working with us before, and revealed some interesting side notes about some people that we were working with. Yeah, it's like you can't really know where people are coming from on this political landscape right now. It's a very changing political landscape. Wells Fargo and TD Bank have turned Trump's financial records over to the House. Hey, Drag King, that's good news. Thank you. Wow. Huh. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let me see if I can find that right here. Find. Good. I'll take a look at that. Nope, wrong one. Yeah, we had some information from Jamal Khashoggi tonight. Good day to you, Mr. Sponheim. I've been blocked from the internet access until today. Once again, I'm safe in Turkey. And he said, sir, I have important news I wish to bring to you. And then he went on to say they are moving heavy nuclear weapons to Saudi Arabia. There's a carrier escort. So there was talk about Jared Kushner arranging Saudi Arabian transport of nuclear weapons. And many people were wondering if Saudi Arabia had cut a deal with Israel. But I have a feeling that they're working separately with the U.S. on that note, and Israel's not in the loop on that. And in that case, that triangle between Saudi Arabia and Israel and the United States could very well be broken. Yeah. Very strange in many ways to see this type of thing go on. Now, if Jamal Khashoggi really is alive, and there is still no verification, because there was no DNA evidence in that suitcase that he was found in. They never found DNA evidence confirming it was him. Yeah, strangely enough. Yeah. For tonight, Iron Mountain Blueprint for Tyranny, 2 hours and 21 minutes. Oh, Mr. Bill, that looks like a good one. That's excellent. I needed a video for tonight. Thank you. You guys are coming in to help out in the stretch. I appreciate it. Yeah, as you know, we've been kind of a funk lately, and getting new links, well, like this will really help us. The evening shows, sometimes digress, and I like to keep them relevant.
Thing you would.
Okay, I'll take a look at that later. 2.5 documentary on the 1966 Iron Mountain Project requested by JFK administration. This explosive document caused a great stir around the world, and it's the agenda of the elite on the methodology of a complete takeover of the United States and the world. Wow. No kidding. So if this Iron Mountain plan is in place and their center is the Denver airport, You can only imagine what their end game is. I understand there's a facility over there called Iron Mountain. Yeah. Well, if they're going to try to implement some sort of a 5G network, nullifying our brain cells and virtually sending way too much electricity through the air, they certainly are on a good roll trying to do that right now. But they ran into a snare with the recent conflict between the Western 5G networks and the Asian Huawei, now at a crossroads with Trump, and doesn't look like there's any wiggle room there.
White House Democrats celebrating tonight as a second federal judge gives them a win on their efforts to dig into not only the president's finances, but also those of his children, grandchildren, and in-laws as well. Let's talk about it with our legal eagles tonight. Former Deputy Assistant Attorneys General Harry Litman and Tom Dupree. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom Dupree and Harry Litman. Yeah, I wonder if you're related to Walter Lippmann. Okay, Harry, thanks for coming in. Harry Litman and others are going to be talking. Oh, we're back at the Drudge Report. I forgot we still had that screen open. Let me see a scan here. Ivanka dines with Pelosi? Really? Huh. Oh, they're going to be meeting together, Pelosi and Ivanka, at a gala event. Okay, yes. Yeah, 5G will enable all citizens to cook their food on the sidewalk. I got one better. 5G will enable all citizens to be the food on the sidewalk. Yeah, it'll microwave, the potential to microwave the entire population is very real. And if you don't think I'm kidding, think again. The hardwired setup in 5G is so much more powerful, over 100 times the strength, let alone the dangers. Thanks, Obama. I'm not a big supporter of the 5G network, but I can tell you there are those people that are, and this guy is the biggest zealot I've ever met in my life. It's unbelievable. I actually talked to this guy for a while at a convention.
The United States will be the first country in the world to open up high-band spectrum for 5G networks and applications. And that's damn important, because it means that U.S. companies.
Yeah, U.S. companies. It's all about U.S. companies, right? That's why they're having a fight with Huawei. I have 5G in my house too. We have a Wi-Fi setup that's 5G ready. Yeah, it's fast, no question about it, but how dangerous is it? Now, I've got Faraday cages over mine. It's damn important I keep my Faraday cages up and running. I've got shields to block the field energy from the 5G network, and that's damn important. Because otherwise, I'll get a brain tumor, and I won't know what to do. Because I'll be inoperable, and it'll just kill me. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Dragging has the Wells Fargo story. Yeah, we've got that too in the loop. Appreciate it.
White House Democrats.
Okay. Yeah, this is the time period when we're kind of pulling together. I want everyone to know that I'm in a rebuild stage right now. We've had a few major attacks on our show recently. We just discovered that everyone who's a guest over at iVlog has to actually sign with an account with an email address. And that happened just the past 3 weeks. And no notice has been given to us for that purpose. We've lost a lot of key people over there. You've seen some of our ops have been kicked out, IP banned. We're not sure what's going on over there. But there's been a lot of things underway that don't make sense when you look at the big picture. Why are they so worried about this effort taking off? Why are they coming down so hard on our effort and cutting off access to so many chatters to come in here? If you're getting us through some network, say you're on a VPN, you're lucky enough to get in out of the 350 million banned VPNs that Mark hits. We have a person named Dr. Kolostmy, and you're supporting Abernethy. But Abernethy is being investigated right now for a lot of various serious crimes, man. Not to mention a supposed extortion plot against Nike. Yeah. Stormy Daniels is also he's being looked at as a possible stealing $300,000 from Stormy Daniels. Remember how he was bragging about the $430,000 he got crowdfunding to get money for Stormy Daniels' defense when he put her out there on the street working at this? Did you see her, Stormy Daniels? Did she come to your town, Dr. Colostomy, and do a little striptease? Oh, it's total censorship, Kiefer boy.
This nation owes a sense of gratitude to my client, Stormy Daniels.
Wow. Okay, so we have an actual chatter in our room who actually believes that Stormy. So she did her little thing. Did she grind her bikini down on the floor and do her little thing? She does. That's totally exploiting of this woman who is an obvious porn star. But it really kind of broaches the issue that the creepy porn lawyer. I know, and I'm sure you saw her. That's why I was asking you, because you seem like a worldly man, Dr. Colostomy. When you go around the world, do you carry backup colostomy bags in case you have to drain one at any one location, like a strip bar? Like the lady walks up and says, "Sir, would you like another drink?" No, I got to drain my colostomy bag. Excuse me. Okay. Nothing turns a woman on more than a guy wanting to drain his colostomy bag. I'm kidding, of course. Trump had Hillary put all the deep state players in the murder list. I know, to avoid prosecution of treason. Yeah, you heard about the Clinton death count? The body count? Yeah. If you Google the Clinton body count, one of two things happens. You'll find the Clinton body count. It's like up to 174 now. Or you have to go like 1,000 items down to get to it. And the NSA is watching you, by the way. So the best way to Google that is to go to a thing called Start Page. That's probably your safest page to do, Start Page. They say it's pretty anonymous. More than DuckDuckGo. Let's look at the Clinton body count, see what pops up, okay? Boom. Da-da-da-da. Rumors, truth or fiction. This is a debunking site. Wiki, that's a debunking site. It used to be it went right to all the information you need to know. Now, fact check, debunking site. Rational Wiki is debunking site. Body count. Okay, the first page is pretty much nothing. This might be something. This has a list going all the way to, it only tops out, it's like a blog post. So somehow this got in the lineup. It's up to 56, but the number is much higher. So you got to go to the next page to find this. It used to be it just popped right out. Here's a YouTube show about it. Yeah, we could play that tonight. I knew you'd be interested. Murders, suicides, mysterious deaths surrounding Bill and Hillary Clinton. Cool. See, some things still exist on the internet, on YouTube, and they haven't been filtered out yet. The one I'm looking for is not InfoWars. It's whatreallyhappened.com, and that's been pushed all the way down. Next page. Whoa. They're just pushing this as far back. I don't know. It's just way back. Look at this. Man. They virtually got rid of the best one out there. Used to be, yeah, this is a good one. Chilling similarities between Seth Rich's disappearance and the Clinton body count. They believe Seth Rich could be on the Clinton body count. The original recording, 1969, Reflections of My Life, The Marmalade. Oh, that looks like fun tonight. Thank you, Dr. C. Coming up in 3 minutes, a really interesting 60s recording from the Marmalade group. Okay, thank you. I know many of you are living in the 60s in your mind. Yeah, chilling similarities between the Seth Rich murder and the Clinton body count victims. Wow. That looks like a good story right there. it goes on. Whenever they talk about, this covers Vince Foster, yeah, this is a good one. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a link to WND, which is the closest we can get to something quality-oriented. This is from the original files that were pushed now back 3 pages in the censor's roll. So I gave you a link to all this. Yeah. People who have disappeared. Vince Foster, by the way, died with 2 bullet wounds to his head, and they called that a suicide. I don't know about you, but it's highly unlikely he shot himself twice in the head. Okay, you can have multiple browsers installed, rookies. Okay, this completely blows Chrome away. The new Firefox is way more efficient. CPU use, RAM usage is down. Yeah, about the same as when you'd run idle with nothing open. You know, I did download Firefox, and initially the add-ons wouldn't work. But they've fixed the problem in the next upload, and it does work really well. I agree. It rocks. I tried it today. You like Firefox, Dr. Colostomy? That's cool. Yeah, I just updated on one of my computers on the new release. There's a patch through for any Windows 7s have vulnerabilities, and you may want to get advanced system care. They've got an update right now to block that vulnerability on Windows 7. You're using Firefox right now? I like Firefox because it's got the best tool, utility, video download helper. I've tried all the browsers and I could never get videos to download properly until I got the video download helper. And it's free. It works with Firefox. So ironically, Google never really exploited this. Chrome doesn't have a good video downloader. Yeah, there was a recent update because Firefox was virtually attacked. They had all their certificates completely negated last month, some sort of a glitch. It was actually 2 weeks ago, this month. They had a glitch, and yeah, you remember that. And they jumped onto this thing and tried to figure out how to get past this. They rebuilt their system, and it's running way better. I agree. It totally makes up for that glitch, yeah. Which is good. Real good. Yeah. Well, go ahead and make my day. So this is the end of another 5 hours of constant broadcasting, which we record and upload. This will be part 2, the end of part 2 on our run, which is a couple hours long, and then the first one was about an hour and a half today. I'm breaking up my YouTubes because they're starting to censor me. They're claiming that you have to be over 18 to watch my shows now, which they never did before, and they wouldn't listen to reason when I talk to them. So YouTube is completely turning me away when I go to disputes now. They're putting the screws down on us. Not only do they have a lock on our subscriber count, the same number in the past 8-9 years, but they lock our hit counters too. You'll see very few people hit on our videos. That's not true. They've had a massive amount of people hitting on our videos. They just only show 1 per 100,000 or 1 million. We're not sure. But the numbers are huge. And I've been dealing with this for some time, the censorship. And here in America, where you think you have freedom, you don't have freedom. You're not free. You're led to the stall. The stall is set up for the Democrats, Republicans to think they have choice. Because you don't have any choice. Unless we can build this centrist party, your choice is limited to what they choose to put you in, which stall they're heading you toward the slaughter. Anyway, I hope to be ready to go for the 2020 season, as you know. I'm dealing with a lot of pressure from people like Beto O'Rourke, who's openly a hit-and-run driver who openly wrote a story about wanting to kill children. I mean, that's big competition, you know. But we're going to have to express that to as many Democrats to know that he did do that, and he was a hacker at one point. And we've got, of course, Biden and Trump, to those guys to deal with. All these Zionists that support super New World Order policies need to go. These people are taking our country and dividing it and getting rid of our sovereignty. And they're doing that in order to give a New World Order a chance to control our future as a nation. And I don't want that at all. So I'm going to sign off here. Thank you for coming in. We will see you again later. All right. My outgoing song is something I created in less than 2 minutes on a program called Magix. It was created on the fly, buy equipment that's ready to go plug and play. If you download Magix, magix.com, you will hear this amazing tool, and you can piece it together and make things yourself. This is called Mr. Right. Take care, everyone.
My feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good. Just turn my world around, cause you're the peace I find. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good.